Ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
The boy is mine.
Let's go, Grizz! Let's go! Oh, John Moran just broke the rim with that finish.
Defense, take that ball! Defense, take that ball!
Jared with a rejection.
Give me that!
Moran digs at it, knocks it away. Picked up by Pippen. Bob, Brandon Clark.
Ooh, on that rim!
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
What about the hanging your hat on the defensive end? Where does that come from?
And one thing my dad told me is if you want to get to the NBA, if you want to leave an impact, if you're a competitor like you say you are, you're going to be one of the best defenders on the court every time you step on there. He said you're not going to disrespect the game. You're not going to take it for granted. You know, this is not a right, it's a privilege. So go out there and compete every day.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
From the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. We're in downtown Memphis. Benny Doyle's right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to continue our conversation about the Memphis Grizzlies, downtown Memphis, a possible lease agreement, and all things that entails, because we're going to do it here in a second. First, though, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 25 minutes or so, Michael Wallace is going to join me, senior editor, Grind City Media. He's going to pop in like he does on Thursdays, and I'll talk all things NBA, including the big news of the week. Michael Wallace is going to join me in the next segment. Finish talking to him. We're going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we will discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the University of Memphis has released its non-league basketball schedule. That happened about an hour ago. I'll run you through it. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. Wild finish, Little League World Series last night. South Carolina, a team from South Carolina, rallied to beat a team from South Dakota 7-6. It was in extra innings. I got thoughts on it. I'll share them with you. We'll do that in just a bit. It'll be the Worldwide Leaders' first premium live event coming up next month. It's going to be WrestlePalooza live from Indianapolis. It's going to mark the end of the Peacock era of WWE. That was announced last night. We'll spend some time on that. We'll do it in the third segment. Paige Bueckers went crazy last night. Got a career-high 44 points against the Sparks. I'll give you the shooting numbers. Impressive. A little later on in the show. In the Tour Championship, it's about to get underway. Down at East Lake in Atlanta. Scotty Scheffler, as of this morning, was listed at plus 130 to win the event. That's the shortest odds for any golfer in any Tour Championship since Tiger Woods was even money back in 2009. We'll talk a little golf. We'll do it during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start by telling you that I am looking forward to getting Michael Wallace in here in a few minutes to discuss the news of the week, specifically that the Grizzlies and the city of Memphis still have not reached a deal on a new lease agreement, and that the main holdups, according to the Daily Memphian Sam Hardiman, are concerns about the state of the Grizzlies' downtown neighborhood, which, of course, includes historic Beale Street. As you likely know, we talked extensively about this on Tuesday, and it's led to other people talking about what we talked about, which has been, let's just say, interesting. Big Bet Bennett, you're online a lot.
Yes.
You've got your ear to the streets.
That's what they say.
A lot of people have said a lot of things about this situation over the past couple of days. I think we've all now had a little time to consider everything from every angle. As we sit here on August 21st, 2025, verbalize for me, if you will, your level of confidence that all of this will get worked out in due time and that your children, and someday, hopefully, their children, will spend nights in downtown Memphis watching the Grizzlies play professional basketball.
Goodness, that's a loaded question. I think... and
I would like it on a scale of 1 to 7, please.
Okay, I feel... I'll put it at about a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they will sign a new lease and be here for the long term. Yes.
Foreseeable future.
Foreseeable future. Yes.
I'm optimistic about that as well.
Yes, I'm optimistic about that.
Like I said a couple of days ago, I am still confident that everything will be fine. The Grizzlies do not want to leave downtown Memphis. The city does not want the Grizzlies to leave downtown Memphis. Those are two important things to remember, and a great place for the conversation to start. And one way or another, I suspect that conversation will eventually end with a deal in place. Not sure what the deal will look like, how long it'll be for, but I do think the conversation will end with a deal in place. Either way, as noted, we're not there yet. That's the big headline of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we're not there yet, again, according to Sam Hardiman from the Daily Memphian, is because the Grizzlies have concerns about the state of the downtown neighborhood where the franchise plays its home games and where its employees largely work on a daily basis. Now, let me stop right here for a second and make what I hope is an important point. This is why local journalism is important. What we're doing this week. You hear people say it all the time, like local journalism is important, but more often than not, it's just something people say. They don't really follow up on it. It's like local journalism is important, peace in the Middle East, and then we just stop it right there. Nobody ever really explains why. It's just something people say over and over again. So if you have a minute, let me be the one who follows up and explains why local journalism is important. Local journalism is important because sometimes it brings below the surface issues to the surface and leads to important conversations like the ones we are having this week, like the ones we are having right now. Sam Hardiman is why local journalism is important. So all of us in the talking business in this market owe him a big thank you this week because his well-sourced reporting has created stories that have created important conversations that otherwise probably wouldn't be happening. That's Sam Hardiman, the Daily Memphian. He's done good work to bring all of this to the forefront. Now, let's talk for a second. Big Bet Bennett, as you know, I don't reply to many comments on social media. Just doesn't, over the years, seem worth my time. But I do see them, at least most of them. And among the comments over the past few days that I've seen are some criticizing me and others, but me, for talking about this because they say me talking about this in the way that I'm talking about it only worsens the perception of downtown Memphis, which only worsens everything. Like people I like and respect hold that opinion. So I'm not dismissive of that opinion. I'll listen to you. But if you allow me to at least address it, I guess the first thing I'd say is that I didn't just wake up this week and decide I was bored and then decided to start talking about how downtown Memphis isn't doing so well these days. That's not what happened. Like me or hate me, I'm more creative than that. The only reason I was talking about this Tuesday morning is because earlier on Tuesday morning, Sam Hardiman published a story in the Daily Memphian detailing how the main holdups between the Grizzlies and the city of Memphis reaching an agreement. The main holdup It's a concern about the state of downtown Memphis. I'm not creating something out of nothing. What I'm doing is talking about the main thing standing between the Grizzlies and the city of Memphis reaching a deal to keep an NBA franchise downtown beyond the 2028-29 season, according to the Daily Memphian. It seems like an important topic.
Yes.
So we're talking about it. And the only way to talk about it effectively, I think, is to be honest about it. And the only way to talk about it honestly is to acknowledge that the state of downtown has worsened over the years and to recognize that various crime is down graphics or headlines aren't really that helpful because, and I don't know why this is so hard for some people to understand, but quote, crime is down does not equate to things are great. Why do people not understand this? Bennett, do you have a theory?
I mean, I do think that it's nobody wants their baby called ugly. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably the biggest thing, including me. Like, I hate that we even have to have conversations like this, right? Like it. I
would prefer. Let me be clear that
a
lease agreement would be in place and we'd be talking about something else. I'd prefer that. That's not our reality.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the story came out. We're talking about it.
The
right?
Memphis Grizzlies have concerns about the state of downtown. That's our reality.
Yes. You know, I don't really. It's hard to just like point at one thing.
And I'm not
it just is. No, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, and I'm not talking about why are people uncomfortable with the conversation. I got that.
Yep.
I'm saying, let me put it this way. The other day when I said things like, I don't care about your statistics, I don't mean I literally don't care about your statistics. What I mean is that your headlines and your statistics haven't tangibly changed anything as it pertains to downtown Memphis. Crime is down is a nice headline. It doesn't mean things are good. Let me put it this way. Is crime down in Memphis? Yes, reportedly. Does that mean things are good in Memphis? No. Both things can be true. Both those sentences can be true. Think of it this way. Let's say there's a street, any street in the world, keep Memphis out of it for a second. Any street in the world, any country in the world. Last month, there were 50 murders on that street. 50. Keep that number in your head. Now, this month, 49 murders. Same street. Technically, you know what I could say? Crime is down. But would that mean things are good? Of course not. 49 people still got murdered on that street this month. Things aren't good. All right? So don't let headlines like crime is down trick you into thinking things are good. Crime is down mean things are better. It doesn't mean things are good. Hopefully everybody understands that. We'll see. And if you're one of the people, by the way, who doesn't want to take my word for it on these issues, even though I was born in Memphis, have 3 children who were born in Memphis, used to live in downtown Memphis, still work 5 days a week in downtown Memphis. If you don't want to take my opinion on this topic seriously because I no longer live in downtown Memphis, fine. It's weird, but it's fine. For the sake of the conversation, you ready? Leave me out of it. Forget what I think about downtown Memphis. Forget about where I live. Let's just focus on what we know, thanks to Sam Hardiman of the Daily Memphian. Here's what we know. The Grizzlies don't think downtown Memphis is where it needs to be. Forget me. That's not my opinion. That's the Daily Memphian's reporting that has been disputed, you ready for this, by nobody. Our NBA franchise, which is downtown's most important tenant, and a franchise that is quite literally run by somebody who lives and loves downtown. This franchise doesn't believe downtown is where it needs to be to successfully run an NBA franchise. The Grizzlies don't think downtown is vibrant enough, compelling enough, safe enough, all of these things that you need a neighborhood to be to effectively run an NBA franchise in a market this size. They are issues. They're not issues that I conjured up from the suburbs. These are issues that the Grizzlies have raised with the city of Memphis. That's the reporting as of Tuesday morning. In the end, I guess it doesn't really matter what I think. All right? So let's forget about it. But you know what does matter? What the Grizzlies think. That matters. And the Grizzlies do not think downtown is where it needs to be, which is quite literally the main obstacle between the franchise and the city of Memphis already reaching a deal on a long-term lease agreement, again, according to the Daily Memphian. So if you live downtown and you feel safe and you think it's great and you have no concerns about the area and you think everybody else's concerns are overblown and misguided, great. Cool story. But the Grizzlies as an organization do not share your opinion. They disagree with you. They believe things have gotten worse. They believe things need to improve. So if you don't care about what I think, again, fine. But you should care about what the Grizzlies think because they hold the keys to the future of downtown Memphis. And for whatever it's worth, when I posted a 3-minute clip with my thoughts on this earlier this week, it was shared by multiple people who own businesses downtown. Also worth noting, I listened to Sam Hardiman on Jeff Calkins' show yesterday. Again, he's the one reporting all of this. And do you know what he said to Jeff, sort of in passing? He said he lives downtown and works downtown. And that the downtown he lived in and worked in 2019 is no longer the downtown where he lives and works. That's what he said. Things have changed, and not for the better. That's what the Grizzlies are telling us. It's time to start listening. And lastly, I guess I'd say this. I've seen some people suggest that talking about this, again, the way I am, only feeds into the narratives that exist and stokes fears and does damage. I understand the point. I just disagree with it. What are the other options? To not talk about it? Just ignore it? None of us just woke up this week and decided to start criticizing the state of downtown Memphis. This entire conversation is the byproduct of a reputable news outlet reporting via credible sources that the main reason the Grizzlies and the city of Memphis do not have a long-term deal in place right now is because of the franchise's concerns about the state of downtown. That's why we're talking about it. And I just refuse to believe the better option is to ignore reality, because truth is we've been ignoring reality for a while. And that doesn't seem to have done any good. You know, we didn't really talk about it when a rapper got shot in broad daylight right outside that window. Right there. Right in front of a hotel where LeBron James sometimes sleeps. We didn't really talk about that. But it's a problem. We didn't really talk about it when my niece, who's in her 20s, just having a good time on Bill Street, like when I was in my 20s, I'd have a good time on Bill Street. Didn't really talk about it when she saw a guy get shot on Bill Street. But that happened. We didn't talk about it, but it happened. Not great. We didn't really talk about it when a friend of mine who works in the NBA came to Memphis for a game. And I texted him just randomly, see how the trip was going. And he told me that trip's great. But man, I just saw a dude get stabbed while waiting on the team bus outside the hotel. I didn't come in here on Monday and talk about that, I don't think. But it happened. Not good. I never really have talked about or told you about my friend named Mark, who owns a gym downtown and is constantly posting about how he's watched the area around his place become more and more problematic. I don't think I ever told you about another buddy I got who lives downtown in a nice building, nice home. Building got shot up. I don't think I came in here and told you about that, but it happened. We haven't really talked about any of this stuff. But maybe we should, because not talking about it hasn't seemed to help at all. Because not talking about it has gotten us to a place where our NBA franchise now has very publicly known concerns about the state of downtown, to the point where the future of the organization is on some level in question. Like I said Tuesday, it's not time to panic, but it is time to stop pretending. Yes, we all love Memphis. That goes without saying. But we have real issues in this city, including in downtown, that need to be addressed before we mess around and lose the biggest thing that provides us with a source of civic pride. I want my future grandchildren, if I'm lucky enough to have, to sit in this building someday and watch NBA games. Not talking about this stuff has reportedly, on some level, put that in jeopardy. Not addressing the issues have reportedly put that in jeopardy. So I think it's time to start talking about it and time to start addressing it, because I've never seen a problem get fixed by folks just pretending it doesn't actually exist. Mike Wallace is up next.
What is the biggest Summer League accomplishment so far for this Grizzlies team?
Tuomas Isalo filling out his coaching staff. The Ryan Saunders hiring was essential. It was big time. You have a veteran NBA voice there.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Speaking of Adidas, are these the Harden 10s?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess so.
From what
You guys don't
speculation-
sound too excited.
Nah.
It kind of looks like when you flush the toilet in the water.
Yeah, it's like a whirlpool.
Want to be phone positive? Yeah. Want to be phone positive?
Or artists just making some paint up and they just
Looks like phone positive material.
Yeah, or a
Yeah,
thumbprint.
like-
The Sneakfest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
It's a massive weapon to have you pressuring the ball that far up. It wrecks offenses.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't want to do it. I think that's the main thing. Like, who wants to pick up full court the whole game? And on the opposite end, who wants someone picking them up full court the whole game?
It's annoying.
So it's annoying, so I feel like that's why I like doing it, because, like, I wouldn't want someone to do it to me the whole game. It just shows how well-conditioned they are, too, because, like, damn, this dude will not stop.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio. Michael Wallace, senior editor, Grind City Media, scheduled to join us momentarily. Just see some breaking news come across the timeline. Big Bet Bennett.
What's up?
Derrick Rose's official retirement ceremony with the Chicago Bulls at the United Center. It's now on the books. January 24th. 2026. They're going to celebrate Derrick Rose's retirement on my birthday.
How about that?
How about that?
Who do we know the opponent?
Well, I bet we can find it out real quick. You want to find it out real quick?
Cool.
Chicago Bulls schedule. Boom. I'm going to get it for you right now, Bennett. Wish you wouldn't have thrown that on me like that.
Sorry, yeah, that's
Not
my
sure
bad.
This makes
well,
for...
I thought you were going to say, and it's going to be against the Memphis Grizzlies. I was like, oh, that's fun.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would have loved to tell you that, but it's just not true.
Okay.
The opponent will be the Jason Tatumless Boston Celtics.
Oh, well, that's a letdown. He's not even going to be there.
He'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. No, that's excited for D-Rose. That should be like a big like a big spectacle. That'll be great.
It should be the best.
Yeah.
And they'll put his number into the rafters. Congratulations to Derrick Rose. Michael Wallace is a senior editor, Grind City Media. He joins me on Thursdays in the second segment. Today's Thursday. It's the second segment. He's here right now. Michael Wallace is GP. How you doing on this day?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks a lot for having me again. Looking forward to it. And we're right around the corner, man, from the season started and football ready to rock too.
It'll be here before we know it. Let me get your thoughts because I haven't talked to you since big story came out, dailymemphian.com earlier in the week, detailing ongoing negotiations between the Memphis Grizzlies and the city of Memphis. And as Sam Hardiman reported, among the hangups, and the way he phrased it was the biggest holdup, is concerns from the organization about the state of the downtown neighborhood. Everybody seems to think, Sam Hardiman included, that a deal will eventually get done and these conversations will be put to rest for a little while. But are you concerned, as someone who not only cares about this franchise in the city, but like we don't have to lie to each other, we work here. Are you concerned at all, based on the reporting this week, that that things aren't going as well as they should be going?
I mean, when I look at it, the first two things that I think about is, okay, when does the lease expire? 28, 29, right? So we still have plenty of time, right? Most deals like that don't get done this early. There are some things that you have to, if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, you have to say, hey, this is what we want, this is why we want it, and we need you to do this part, and then we'll commit to doing that part. This is part of negotiations, no matter what field of life you're in, no matter what kind of business you're in, this is part of it. If you're the city of Memphis, you're saying, okay, well, this is what we have. And if this isn't good enough, then I don't know what else we can do. You can't squeeze blood from a turnip, as my grandmother used to say, when it comes to limitations that this city is facing. Memphis is a relatively poor city. It doesn't have a lot of extra resources. It doesn't have a lot of industry that's just jam-packing the city and willing to invest in it. So these two sides have to meet each other somewhere in the middle. And I think the Grizzlies have done that. And I think Memphis has to step up its side a little bit more to make this thing as smooth as possible going into the next year or two, when I expect this thing to be resolved.
That's exactly right. In a point perhaps you articulated better than I previously had. When I said things earlier in the week, like you have to pull from the suburbs and you have to make sure people from the surrounding areas are comfortable coming downtown, I don't mean that in any other way other than this. There's not enough money in the city. There's not enough money downtown. There are not enough people in the city and downtown to support an NBA franchise 41 regular season nights a year. And if you don't address the issues, then attendance will continue to struggle. And at some point, these conversations will switch into larger conversations about whether Memphis, as a market this size, is actually capable of consistently supporting a professional sports franchise. And I don't want to get to those conversations. I'd rather cut it off right here. So I know I'm not talking about it in the way that everybody would prefer me to talk about it, but I do, even though recognize there's time between now and 2029, believe there is a sense of urgency here that needs to be addressed, and not talking about it hasn't seemed to do any good over the past couple of years.
No, it doesn't do any good. You have to face these issues. You have to look in the mirror. You know what I mean? And that's collectively us as and I don't want to divide, Memphis, the city, from the suburbs. Right. In this regard, I'm saying everyone, because I live out in Lakeland. Right. So I drive from the extreme edges of Shelby County to get downtown now. But I also live downtown, right smack dab across the street from the Lorraine Motel, for 8 years. So I know the scope of both being inner city and then suburban as well, too. This entire region has to wrap itself around the Memphis Grizzlies, and it goes beyond Memphis. That's why, the organization has tried to have a multi-state footprint. This goes into Mississippi, Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama, reach into those areas as well and try to generate a fan base. And I think that's why you see these caravans that the team is putting on year after year to increase the regional support. But ultimately, from a civic investment standpoint, this has to be Memphis, Shelby County, and the state of Tennessee. And especially at a time, one more thing, man, I've looked into these things. Memphis, the state of Tennessee basically has 4 professional type organization franchises. I mean, obviously the Tennessee Titans, and they're about to get $1 billion plus stadium. You know, you have the Predators there as well too. You have the Memphis Grizzlies, and on the far extreme other side of the state, you got Bristol Motorsport Speedway. All of those other areas have been investing in their properties to make sure that they have the best of everything around them to build those areas up. The city of Memphis and the state has to do the same thing when it comes to Memphis.
So I'm about to ask you a question. I think the answer is complicated, but I'd still like to get your thoughts on it because, like you said, you've seen this from both sides, as have I, by the way. I have been a downtown resident, lived downtown, different parts of my life. Now I live in the suburbs, but I have a perspective on both. The story in the Daily Memphian details concerns about the state of downtown and the need for improvements, but the details under that umbrella aren't really there. So when people say things like downtown needs to improve, the area needs to get better, in your head, what does that look like? What does that mean?
To me, it means, I mean, and those are kind of loaded terms without going straight into them, but number one, it's safety. Are people, whether you're from the suburbs or whether you're from Orange Mound or whether you're from, South Haven or Olive Branch or Lakeland or Arlington or Eads, can you get in your car with your family, go downtown to a Grizzlies game or a Tigers game or a concert and feel relatively safe that your car will not have its windows busted by the time you turn around and come out of there? Are you safe walking and you say, you know what, I'm not ready to go home quite yet. I want to go grab a bite to eat on Main Street or South Beale or somewhere else. Are you relatively safe that you won't be, stalked or looked at or feel intimidated? Those are the things that people are talking about when they say downtown has to improve. And I think you can only do so much with the police presence, but I also think you can only do so much by relying on the perception. If the reality says that the numbers of crimes are decreasing, then that has to become the perception as well as the reality. We have to talk more about those kind of things. Sometimes you can't change someone's perception or perspective because they want to be locked in on the fact that Memphis downtown just isn't safe. There's nothing you can do to convince that person that it is, even though you're going to work every single day in this building like we do. So can things happen randomly? Absolutely. Have they happened randomly and consistently in the past? Yes, they are. But things are not as bad as the perception is. And I think Memphis has to continue to invest in the public relations to make sure that those stories are out there as well.
Yeah, I think that's right. Like, it's a feeling. It's a feeling more than a numbers thing. And the numbers are the numbers. But the point I made in the opening segment, crime is down is a good headline. That doesn't necessarily translate to things are good. Like if my son makes all Fs this semester and then comes back next semester and makes 4 Fs and 1 D, technically his grades have improved, but we still ain't in a good place. And so I think sometimes these headlines can be a little misleading. That's why I tend to talk about the feeling a little bit. Yeah. And these are all anecdotal, but like this is a real story I'm about to tell you. A couple years ago, I guess, summer night, friends of ours want to go to 901 FC game. So we go to a 901 FC game. It's a Saturday night, AutoZone Park. It was beautiful. I had a blast. After the game, whatever time it ends, it's nighttime. I sort of suggested like exactly what you just said. Hey, we're having a good time. I'm not ready to go home. Like let's go do something else. And I didn't bring this up, but somebody was like, what if we just walked to the Peabody and had a drink in the lobby and, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And somebody else said, do you think we'll be okay? In other words, like, do you think we can walk there without issue? And I was like, yes, it'll be fine. But I had to address that mindset. And it was fine. We did it. Had a beautiful night. It was perfect. But that's the type of nights you have to have. The graphics and the headlines won't do it. What you need to do, and again, it's complicated, but you've got to have compelling things, either entities or events that draw people here. And then when they're here, they look around and they go, this is awesome. This is great. For instance, you could have 50 murders on South Main tonight. And if Taylor Swift were playing FedEx Forum tomorrow night, this place would be overwhelmed with people from the suburbs. It wouldn't matter. My point is, when those people come here, and let me just rip suburb that of it. When anybody comes here from any part of the world, any part of the city, they need to look around and go, this is awesome. This is great, and I can't wait to come back here again. And for a variety of reasons in recent years, according to downtown business owners, according to the Grizzlies organization, according to countless downtown residents, we've lost a little bit of that. We've got to figure out how to get that specifically back. Does that make sense?
Well, it does make sense, Gary, and you articulated it as well as anyone has. And I thought what you did on the day, on Monday's show or Tuesday's show, whenever the story dropped, I mean, what you clipped and put on social media was absolutely perfect, man. I listened to it and watched it, 2 or 3 times. And, the thing about it is that I think people want to slip this and make it a race issue and, all of those kind of things. And crime is associated with it being a black city and all of these other kind of things. And I think that's circumstantial evidence, man. Like, crime can happen, right? I remember seeing some absolutely crazy things happen, across the street in Oklahoma City when I was there before, or San Antonio when I was there before, or take Golden State for instance. I mean, all of these. It's not just about race. It's not just about any of those kind of things. There are factors that are there, but the bottom line is that Memphis. And you talked about it. You hit the nail on the head when you talk to local business owners who are downtown, and they're telling the real stories when it comes to the impact. But I will say this. 10 years ago, that was still an issue. 15 years ago, it was an issue. I remember Phil Jackson having some derogatory comments to say about the city of Memphis. I remember, different guys on different teams over the course of the years for the last 20 years have had some negative things to say, whether it's, hey, when we're down here, we can't hang out. There's only one kind of 4-star-ish hotel. There, it's a lot of things that you get complaints about. And Memphis is a very, very unique NBA market, right? Like it's not a prosperous NBA market. It just is. It's small. It's relatively poor. All of those factors are what it is. Memphis didn't wake up and change and become this overnight. Memphis has been Memphis for a long time. What we have to do is now encourage investment into it and hold the civic leaders responsible for building up the city to a level that it hasn't seen in quite some time. And I think it can be done, but it takes some investment and it takes some sacrifice. And I know the Grizzlies are willing to continue to do that. Let's see if the state and the city are willing to do its part too.
I agree completely. There have always been issues. I was talking to somebody recently, and they put it to me this way. You might remember this. In fact, I'm sure you do. When the Grizzlies were in a playoff series with the Warriors once upon a time and actually took a lead in that series, and I believe the story was after a loss in Memphis, like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, late night, walked down to Blue City, and they were getting dinner there and, after hours meal and just sort of trying to regroup and figure out how they were going to continue their quest toward a championship. And so I was talking to somebody who, let's just say, works in the NBA, and they said, "Do you remember that story?" I said, "Of course." And they said, "That would not happen in 2025." And
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Go ahead, though.
Okay, here's what somebody said to me. That there are NBA franchises right now who, if they don't outright prohibit their players, because I think you get into some gray area there, but strongly suggest to their players, stay at the hotel. Don't walk around as freely as you might in another place. That is a real thing. I don't say that to bang on anything. I'm telling you that is a real thing that is happening with NBA franchises around this country.
And I agree with that. I do know because when the Grizzlies, I travel with the Grizzlies, and I know that there are, certain security protocols where, certain cities you go to, there's a little more relaxed. Hey, go hang out, go here, go there. And then certain cities where you get to where you're like, all right, let's make sure security is with certain people. Let's make sure you check in and let us know when you make it, when your Uber gets there, and those kind of things. I do believe that teams or some personnel are telling people, Memphis, be on your guard. I think that's a lot of perception there. But I also can give you stories that, it was just maybe a season or two ago where when Greg Popovich, walked his players and his team from the downtown hotel over to the Civil Rights Museum. Right. There are caravans that go back and forth to St. Jude all the time. People are out and about and they're hitting up different clubs and places around the city as well, too. So I won't say that it won't happen and teams just refuse to do it. I do think Draymond Green and the Warriors would have had that same dinner because, number one, convenience is right there. Yeah. It's not like Draymond Green and Steph Curry are walking without 6 security guys. I know personally the security chief with the Golden State Warriors, and he's a bad MFer. So you wouldn't want to mess with this dude in whatever city you're in. But yes, the perception that goes back to what you're saying is true. There's a lot to clean up, but you can't fix everything. You just have to make some incremental strides, man. And we can't get all upset when Stephen A. Smith says something. I thought it was an overreaction. It was Memphis, getting into its feelings and then people defending the city because an outsider said it. But this is no different than what the perception has been out there. You just got to chip away at it and show that. And Tony Allen and Zebo and those guys can speak to it from a player level. And I think, we got to continue to speak to it from people who live here and also understand that there's some challenges we're facing.
Let me ask you about this because, this is the issue of the week. But if we are actually talking about the future of the Grizzlies in Memphis, some of this is an attendance issue as well. Obviously, the playoff games did not perform well last season. There were reasons for that, but still, facts are facts. I believe they were, if not the 2 lowest attended playoff games anywhere in the NBA, they were 2 of the lowest attended. I think if there was a campaign in this city, pretend we don't have an NBA franchise, and there was a campaign in this city, and it was just understood among all of us, if we can sell 15,000 season tickets or put 16,000 people nightly into an arena, we will get an NBA team. I think we would do that. There's history of this city doing that for the NFL in an attempt to get a franchise. If you show us you can do this, then maybe we'll give you this thing. And so we'd fill up the Liberty Bowl, and we'd go out and fill up Tim McCarver Stadium. And we would do these things because maybe it'll lead to something good. What if that conversation gets flipped now, and this is actually the conversation? If we don't start selling more tickets and getting more people into the building, we might be at risk of losing the thing that we have. Not tomorrow, but someday. Because again, not time to panic, but you are not going to continue to draw at this level, particularly postseason games, and everybody stay satisfied forever. And so I really do think while it is on the city to improve downtown in whatever ways the Grizzlies need downtown to be improved, I do think it's on all of us, citizens of the surrounding area. We have to start showing up more and purchasing more tickets because, if we were told you have to do it to get this thing, we would do it. Now I think it is reasonable to tell the same people a different message. If you don't start doing this thing more than we've been doing it, and I include all of us in this, then we could be at risk of it not being here for our grandchildren someday, and that's not something I want to think about.
And I agree with you. You and I both were professional media members at a time before the Grizzlies were in Memphis. So we remember what it was like to not have the Grizzlies. So we were just getting into our professional career. And a lot of times this conversation gets made specifically about the Grizzlies, but with or without the Grizzlies, you would still want FedEx Forum to be a place where people can go see great concerts and the Tigers to still have a place to play and all of these kind of things. Now, granted, the Grizzlies need to be in the center of all of that. But to your point, yes, there has to be a level of regional, citywide, statewide, regional support when you show up to these concerts, show up to these events. The Tigers are facing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like Penny Hardaway is the head coach of the Tigers, and the attendance has gone the other way. Something is wrong with that picture, right? The attendance is a challenge with the Grizzlies as well, too. People have to show up and support. But you know what, though? We would be remiss if we didn't say these teams have to perform.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies have won 1 playoff series in 7 years. I mean, when was the last time, the Tigers made it to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament? There's been underachieving when it comes to the level of expectation commensurate to what the attendance is. If you want people to show up, win, invest in the community, get your players back out there, be public figures, be public icons the way that it used to be at a time, and do your part to make sure that this is a ticket that is in demand and this is a team that everybody can pull for. I remember plenty of nights and many occasions where FedEx Forum was full because the team felt connected to the community felt connected to the team, and everybody rode as one from that standpoint. So it's got to get back to that level too. Like, when was the last time you rushed out to see a subpar movie and the movie wasn't satisfying, and everything that you read in the reviews was just so you don't rush out to that. You know what I mean? You want to spend your money at these premium prices to see something that's going to resonate and something that's going to be successful. So that part of it is on the Grizzlies and the franchise. Get this team back to the standard where you're knocking on the door of a Western Conference championship and you're winning games and you're resonating within the community. The same thing with the Tigers. And I think when you do that, people have to come if they're going to support this team, and you got to give them something to want to come and show up for as well. But this city has to do a better job at the gate, no question about it.
That's a good point that you made that I probably should have made previously. Yes, the city has a responsibility to make improvements to downtown. I believe the community has a responsibility to better support the franchise. And yes, the franchise has a responsibility to put a compelling product on the court, because I did see this comment just sort of floating around under something I did over the past couple of days, but I believe it was a woman. And she said, I have been a season ticket holder. I'm not going to renew. And the reason is because I'm not going to play for 41 games when the franchise player, doesn't play in most of them over the past couple of years. I can pick and choose. I'll just pick and choose what games I want to go to rather than commit to a big bill and a long schedule where I don't know who's going to be there from one night to the next, and I don't know how good the product is actually going to be. So, that's a real thing. That might just be one person. I doubt it, but that might. Even if it is just one person, it's one too many, and that is something that obviously needs to be addressed. Before I get you out of here, on a lighter note, John Wall officially announced his retirement from the NBA earlier this week. I guess it came yesterday. He, at one point, was possibly going to be a University of Memphis Tiger. In fact, he was going to be if John Calipari didn't leave for Kentucky when he left for Kentucky. Goes on, plays in Washington, D.C., 5-time NBA All-Star. How will you look back on the career of John Wall?
Man, I had a chance to spend a lot of time with John Wall, actually, in the NBA and covering the NBA, and being a Washington, D.C. native. When I would get back and spend some time in D.C., I would go to Wizards and see their games and everything. And I remember one of my better friends in the industry is Michael Lee, who's been covering the Wizards doing John Wall's drafting and all the way through. And I remember sitting in the arena one night with Michael Lee and John Wall, and John always felt like he never got the just due, even when he was at the peak of his career. He was never really seen as a top 5 point guard, and it kind of hurt him. He was a number 1 overall pick, and he didn't live up to that. And he felt like, he was a contemporary with Chris Paul, and he felt like Chris Paul and Steph Curry and all of those guys, that Russell Westbrook, all of those guys got more of the attention than he felt he deserved. And, he always kind of felt overlooked, and to have that. And then when you look at his career, 5-time All-Star, he played almost a dozen seasons in the NBA. He had a very solid NBA career, something to be proud of, but he never cracked up into that elite level to sustain it up there with the top 5, maybe even top 8 point guards in the league. But overall, dynamic, explosive, one of the greatest college guards that I've ever seen play in terms of his season and what he did for Kentucky. And, he doesn't have anything to be ashamed of. I'm looking forward to see his next chapter in broadcasting or coaching or whatever he chooses to do.
That is Mike Wallace, Grind City Media senior editor. He's on X, at my Mike Check. That's at my Mike Check. You're the best, buddy. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you real soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Bye-bye. Mike Wallace from Grind City Media. John Wall's retirement, I saw this yesterday, means that there's only one player who was selected in the 2010 NBA draft who is still in the NBA. Do you want to take a guess?
Man, 2010.
Number 1 pick was John Wall.
Right. And Boogie's out.
Evan Turner, gone.
Yeah.
Number 2 pick. Number 3, Derek Favors, gone. Number 4, Wesley Johnson, gone. 5, DeMarcus Cousins, gone. Number 6, Epe Udoh, gone. Number 7, Greg Monroe, gone. Al Farouk Aminu went 8th, gone. Gordon Hayward went 9th, done. And the 10th pick in the 2010 NBA draft.
It's not Paul George.
It is Paul George.
Paul George. How about that?
Paul George is okay, Bennett.
Let's go.
Okay, Bennett. Paul George is the only player from the 2010 NBA draft still in the NBA. And again, LeBron James was the number 1 pick in 2003. Everybody from a draft other than Paul George that happened 7 years after LeBron James was picked is gone. And LeBron James is still
beautiful.
I wasn't going to use the word
Legendary.
beautiful, but I mean,
My king.
It fits. He is beautiful. He's a good-looking man. LeBron's a good-looking. He's a king.
He'll be here on Halloween.
That's going to be something.
That'll be a spectacle.
I'm going to wear my king shirt for that one.
I'm not, but I'll probably, get here early to watch him come out and shoot around.
When the LeBron hatred reached a point where I was not comfortable with, I went on the internet like I sometimes do.
Yeah.
And I bought me a king shirt. He's just got LeBron's face on it. It says king. Just says king.
I went down and pretended like I was like working on some equipment when he was doing his
You just want to be in
warm-ups
the presence of a king.
and took a video of him up close. Yeah.
Have you ever been in the presence of a king? Outside of LeBron?
Jerry Lawler.
Jerry, Joe Jackson.
Yeah, I've been in presence of a lot of kings.
I've been around a lot of kings.
Yeah, I've actually been in presence.
I've been around Jerry. I've been around Jerry.
Yeah.
I've been around LeBron.
I mean, I've seen King Henry quite a few times. Yeah.
I've never been around King Henry, but I seen him on TV.
Yeah. No, I've been around. I mean, I was kind of up top, but I was still in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to kick it with Joe Jackson all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around quite a few kings.
How about that?
There was a king on the golf course one time, like for real, here from Memphis in May. We were out on the golf course, and
They brought
a king.
They bring kings. Yeah.
They brought a king in.
They've brought multiple kings
and
over the years.
He was on the golf course and out at Southwind. You're on the. I don't remember what tee. We were on a green, and say we're on a tee box, and it was like you could see that tee box from the green, and it would look like Secret Service over there. Everybody was like, in shirts and sunglasses and doing these, like looking at us. That's what was confusing. You had these people standing around a tee box, and they were not looking at the hole. They were looking back at us. And then there was this, couple men up there playing golf and whatever. And I was like, well, that's weird. What's going on there? Jumped on the internet. It was a king. Real life king.
Do you know what country?
I forgot. It was
Maybe Ghana. That wasn't that long ago.
That sounds like it might be right.
I'm trying to think of like the last country that we honored for Memphis in May.
This was a few years ago.
It was a few years ago?
Yeah. And I was just like, there's a king right over there. I didn't know it at the time. I had to circle back and find it on the internet. But when I got back in the group text later on, I was like, hey, you remember that situation on the tee box earlier today? They were like, yeah, what was going on? King in town. We were in the presence of a king.
It's pretty cool.
Should have paired him with Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Sent him out there. Sent them both.
That would have been cool. I would
match play between Joe Jackson and the king of some country that escapes me right now.
Yep.
Hey, the University of Memphis men's basketball program released its non-league schedule.
Yes, they did.
Released its non-league schedule this morning. We're going to run you through it next. Gary Parrish Show presented by OrthoSouth.
Preseason Box to Row Coaches Bowl has come out. Jackson State sits there at number 1. This is the third time in the poll's history that Jackson State has been the preseason number 1 team in the nation. And then Tennessee State being at 5, that really surprised me.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700. The NBA announced their Dunk of the Year yesterday. It was voted on by the fans, and it went to Ja Morant for his double clutch through Porzingis and Derrick White. The call of it was excellent. That game we hung on to for a long time last season, but it was a spectacular dunk.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and OrthoSouth understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because OrthoSouth welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and OrthoSouth to take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
The University of Memphis men's basketball program has released its non-league basketball schedule for the upcoming season. Bennett, you want to run through it real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, we're going to get started actually on October 28th. It just hasn't been formally announced yet. But the date's going to be October 28th. It's going to be a Tuesday night. John Calipari is going to bring the Arkansas Razorbacks into FedEx Forum for an exhibition. 2 nights after that, the Tigers will be in Atlanta for another exhibition against Auburn. So Memphis will play exhibitions. Remember when it used to be Rhodes and CBU?
Yes. I again, no disrespect.
No disrespect, but
I like, especially when the non-conference schedule means so much to this university, I like having the tune-ups against power programs. Yes.
Yeah, you're playing against the type of teams you're going to need to beat like a week or 2 later.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and see what that feels like and see what we look like against that, whether it goes well or not. So that's on some level the mindset behind this. Arkansas on the 28th, Auburn on the 30th. Penny Hardaway will find himself in a span of 3 days coaching against both John Calipari and Bruce Pearl. One of them already in the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. The other one,
pretty cool,
obviously on his way. Season opener?
Yep.
November 8th against San Francisco. That'll be here inside of FedEx Forum. November 11th at Ole Miss. November 16th inside FedEx Forum, UNLV. That's when Josh Pastner will come back. That'll be a big day, and I hope he receives the type of positive ovation that he deserves. I know that he wasn't John Calipari and did not keep the program at the level at which John Calipari had it when John exited for Kentucky. But, let's be honest, nobody could. Nobody was going to be able to keep that going the way John had it going. And even if it wasn't appreciated in real time, what Josh did here in those 7 years, I think with the benefit of hindsight, looking back on it, people recognize, I hope at least, that maybe those 7 years of Josh Pastner weren't as bad as...
Look at us celebrating our former coaches.
Weren't as bad
this season
as they might have been. John Calipari coming in, Josh Pastner coming in.
Yeah. Don't say it. Just stop. Don't be negative.
I wasn't going to.
Okay. I don't think he's coaching anymore.
Tubby.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. I wasn't going to. Okay. I look back on all that. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked what I said. I just don't like the idea that I spent 2 years yelling about Tubby Smith needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Got the job done, but
I think we're probably better for it, but
yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I was wrong in what I said. It just means that I don't like the
I get it.
enthusiasm with which I said it.
I got it.
We're not bringing Tubby back.
No.
Maybe someday. Probably not. Josh Pastner will be here on November 16th, though. That's when the Running Rebels will be in town. November 20th, this is the Baha Mar Championship. This Baha Mar, I didn't really know much about it. It's down in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Baha Mar. Okay, yes.
Everybody says it's amazing.
Yeah, ESPN's doing a fantasy football thing in Baha Mar. That's why I knew that when you said it.
When we were just down in the Bahamas, and everybody was like, have you been to Baha? Every time I was like, hey, it'd be like, hey, this is amazing. But have you been to Baha Mar? Ooh, buddy, you got to see that.
Yep.
So they're going to what is, by all accounts, an incredible resort. That'll be a nice trip. Going to open with Purdue, which could be the preseason #1 team in the country.
Damn.
I mean, Purdue is the favorite right now. DraftKings, FanDuel, in the betting markets, Purdue's the favorite to win the national championship.
Let's go.
And they bring back 2 All-Americans. Like, Purdue's point guard is Braden Smith, who is on pace. If he replicates his junior season stats in his senior season, Braden Smith will lead Purdue as the NCAA's all-time leading assist man. He will break a record that has been held for decades by Bobby Hurley. That's the point guard. Trey Kaufman-Wren is the leading returning scorer. He was an All-American last season. So they got an All-American point guard, an All-American power forward. Fletcher Lawyer plays in the backcourt beside Braden Smith. He's a 3-year starter, about to be a 4-year starter. They brought in an Israeli guard who played so well this summer in a FIBA international competition that he got invited to the Chris Paul elite point guard camp. Like, they only invite 12 college point guards to this camp. 2 of them are from Purdue. Braden Smith and this Israeli young man who is now, in some circles, a projected one-and-done first-round pick.
Okay.
So Purdue's got All-American point guard, All-American forward, another projected star, another 4th-year starter, and then they enrolled a mid-major center who averaged like 15 and 12 or something like that. Like, they're loaded. And that's who Memphis will open with in the Bahamas. After that, could get a game, at least theoretically, with Wake Forest and Steve Forbes. Or Texas Tech and Grant McCaslin. Texas Tech.
They're going to be good, right?
They bring back JT Toppin, reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, preseason top 10 team. So Memphis could, in the Bahamas, play 2 top 10 teams, including the current favorite to win the national championship. SIU on November 26th, New Orleans on December 3rd. Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears will be here on December 6th. December 13th at Louisville. December 17th against Vanderbilt at home. December 20th at Mississippi State. December 22nd, Alabama State here inside FedEx Forum. February 14th at Utah State. That's, I believe, going to be a CBS Sports Network game. And just to speak to the television power of the University of Memphis, not as it relates to Ohio State and Michigan and Texas and Florida, but as it relates to other AAC programs and Mountain West programs, there's the way you pick games to be on different networks. Basically, CBS was like, could pick any Mountain West non-league game, and the one that they took was Utah State Memphis, and it's because, like, if we can just get Memphis.
Pretty good.
We just want the Memphis brand. You know, the Memphis brand is better than any other brand we could get in any other game between a Mountain West school.
And that's a multi-year game, right?
I believe so. At Utah State this season, then back here at FedEx Forum the following season.
Yeah.
And Utah State, I know that doesn't resonate with people who don't stay up watching Mountain West games on a Tuesday night, but for that game, you'll turn it on after you kiss your lovely wife on Valentine's Day. You'll turn the game on, I would assume. And it's going to look like an incredible college basketball environment. Like, they pack that arena. The student section's great. It's going to be a real non-league, tough road environment.
Okay.
And it'll happen in February, so this will be a break from the American schedule. It's not quite like when we used to do Memphis-Gonzaga in the middle of the league schedule, but Memphis-Utah State, that's going to be fun. That's a strong non-league schedule, and I give Penny credit for building it. He's got 14 new players, could have 15. This thing could eat him up. It could eat him up.
Yeah, I like how it's. I like
that he's trying it.
I like how it falls too with the dates. Like, I mean, you get you have the tough game at Ole Miss sandwiched between San Francisco and UNLV, which could one of those could be a quality win later on in the season. If you were to win one of those at home, maybe lose at Ole Miss, win the other one. You go to the Bahamas, but then you come home and have 2 bye games. Then you get Baylor. Then you're at Louisville. Then Vanderbilt back at home. So like you get a little. It's not just like a straight gauntlet all the way through in this non-conference schedule. You get a couple little breaks your way in there, and I think that's going to benefit them.
The good side of this is if you perform well against it, nobody will be able to question you. A little bit like last season. Like, they did so well against their non-league schedule that it was like, you have to respect that Memphis is good. The resume is incredible.
Yeah.
There was a point in time where, like, they had more quad 1 wins than this team and more quad 1 wins than all of these teams, and it was like the computer numbers weren't strong, but the resume was undeniable. And that's how Memphis spent the bulk of the season ranked in the top 25. Similarly, with this schedule, if you perform well against it, it's undeniable. Nobody will be able to argue with you. They will have beaten clearly quality programs and good teams. The problem, of course, is that if you're not as good as you want to be, this is the type of schedule that could bury you before Christmas. And then you get into the part of the schedule that nobody cares about. Keep in mind, last season, Memphis had a hard time drawing people to FedEx Forum, and that was after they performed so well in the non-league that they had a number beside its name for the rest of the season, for the most part. You don't do well against a schedule like this in November and December, now you're asking people to come watch Rice and UTSA? It's just tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Yep.
It's a tough ask. And so it's very important for them to do well against the non-league portion of the schedule. A, because that's how you're building your NCAA tournament resume. If you're going to have one at all, you got to build it there. Otherwise, you're just playing for the conference tournament. And B, just from a keep people interested, get people excited, bring people downtown perspective. If by the time the conference schedule gets here, you've got a not great record, very few good wins, no votes in the AP poll, and you're not showing up in Joe Lunardi's bracketology, it's going to be very difficult to get people to come downtown to watch Memphis play American opponents. So right from the jump, they've got to be good, and that's on some level the thought process behind scheduling those exhibitions, like you pointed out. Let's test ourselves against Arkansas. Let's test ourselves against Auburn, because once we start playing for real, then we're going to be playing largely until January programs comparable to those. So let's fill it in an exhibition phase and make sure we're ready for it, or as ready for it as we can be. So it's a compelling, interesting, difficult non-league schedule, and hopefully things go well.
Number 2.
Little League World Series last night. South Carolina and South Dakota. Do you see this?
No.
Okay. I didn't watch it live. I'm not sitting around watching Little League Baseball live. But it led SportsCenter last night. And I couldn't help, as I'm watching it, just wonder, like, should we be doing this? I want to be clear. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Maybe not even a deal at all. Just something I noticed as a former baseball player and the father of children who compete in sports. So, South Dakota, South Carolina, they're playing last night. It's an elimination game, all right? So these are 12-year-old boys, and the winner advances, and the loser, it's over. Like, your dream of, like, playing on TV and winning the Little League World Series, and, I mean, it's over last night for somebody, all right? So it's a tight game throughout, and then South Dakota jumps on South Carolina late. And in extra innings, takes a 6-1 lead. So it's 1-1. We have to go to extra innings.
Okay.
Now it's 6-1. South Dakota on top. South Carolina coach rallies his team in the dugout, and he's like, hey, you just got to believe, does all that stuff, right? They got mics on everybody. South Dakota goes out there to close this thing out. You have a 5-run lead. You need 3 outs. And the pitcher, bless his heart, for South Dakota, can't throw a strike. It's ball 4. Ball 4. Ball 4. He's just walking the bases, loaded, and then gives up a hit, and then another walk, and then he's just out there like struggling. Like, if that were my son, I would be crushed. Like, that's a hard thing as a parent. I would much rather fail, me personally, than watch my children fail. And I was somebody, at least athletically, I was terrified of failure. I was not as interested in being the hero of any competition as much as I was determined not to be the person who, quote, lost the game. I didn't want to take the last shot. I didn't want to be up in the bottom of the ninth. I don't like that about myself. It's not something I'm proud of. It's weak, right? but it's the truth. And one of the things I love about my little guy is he's the exact opposite. He don't care about anything. But there are times where he's like up in the bottom of the fifth and, there's second, third, 2 outs, and we need a hit or the game's over and he'll make the last out. And I get nervous for him, even though I know he's not nervous at all. He doesn't carry that around, but I carry it for him. I get nervous. I really want him to not feel what it is I felt when I was his age. And as I'm watching this last night, I can't get this out of my head. This young man who is clearly a talented baseball player, he wouldn't even be on the mound in this spot if he wasn't good at what he does. This 12-year-old baseball player is better than most 12-year-old baseball players. He's good at what he does. And he just got out there and he couldn't do it. I mean, perhaps because we're in a big stadium and we got lights everywhere and cameras pointed at him and he's on national television, and maybe that can get to a 12-year-old. But whatever. There's something cool about 12-year-olds playing on TV. And so I'm not... The part that I thought was possibly questionable. And I guess if you're ESPN, we're already broadcasting this. Of course, we're going to put it on SportsCenter. This is the way we do shows. Hey, GP, you're on CBS Sports Network. You guys have a Big East game. Then you do your post-game show. You don't talk about the Big East game. You don't talk about what people just been watching for 2 hours. I get it. I understand. But I flip on SportsCenter, and there's Nicole Briscoe. And they're running through the highlights. It's like a major part of SportsCenter. And you're just watching this 12-year-old just can't throw a strike. And then another 12-year-old fumbles a ground ball. And then another 12-year-old fumbles a ground ball. And as Nicole's even going through the highlights, she's like, and the left fielder, Bennett Doyle, has trouble here. And, kicks it around. And it's just we're putting these young people's mistakes on the biggest stage they could possibly be on. And that little kid's gotta go back to school, and all his friends are like, yo, man, you couldn't throw a strike. Hey, I saw you on TV. Ball 4. His nickname might be Ball 4 going forward. If I didn't tell you already, South Carolina stormed back and won the game 7-6.
Oh, so good.
Good for them. Bad for South Dakota. South Dakota's the team that had the 6-1 lead.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Then they put the little boy in to finish the game. He can't. They're all crying.
Oh, God.
I mean, all the kids are crying, as they would. Their season's over. They were up 6-1 with a chance to advance in the Little League World Series. And because this one fella can't throw a strike, and this kid in left field can't catch, and the kid in right field can't catch, or at least they didn't catch these balls the way they needed to, their season's over. They're all in tears. And now we're just sitting in it on SportsCenter. It just felt, ugh.
Yeah. I can buy that. Yeah.
I struck out to end the state tournament when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I took strike 3. I think it was a ball, but it was too close to take.
Yeah.
I took strike 3. Immediately burst into tears.
Yeah.
That is a real memory from my childhood. Nobody else remembers that. I don't think there's another person on the planet who remembers that. Because if I'm being honest, I don't remember another thing that happened to me when I was 12 years old.
Mm.
I cannot tell you another. I hit home runs when I was 12 years old, turned double plays when I was 12 years old. I don't remember any of it. I remember one at bat from my entire 12-year-old season. One at bat. Took strike 3. Nobody else even remembers that. I can't imagine. But I have never forgotten it. All right? What if it was on SportsCenter and everybody remembers it because they could pull it up on YouTube whenever they want to? And every time I was on here talking about anything, people would be like, GP, swing the bat. Here's the clip of me striking out when I was 12 years old. It just feels like it's something that...
It feels a little icky.
Yeah.
I mean, they signed up for it.
I know. I know. I get it.
But...
I'm not protesting or anything. I'm not,
I can understand the conflict, though.
How about this? I can only speak for me. If I were in that stadium and my son were 12 and we put him on the mound and that happened to him, I would feel so sick for him because of the way I would imagine that would feel. It might not resonate that way with my son or this 12-year-old. God, I hope not. But I would be as upset internally as I could possibly be about anything, about something sports-wise relating to my children, because I would feel like the whole world is watching my son just struggle in a very public and undeniable way. And I don't like that. As a parent, you want to protect your kids. And in that moment, it just felt like there was nothing anybody could do. And this young person was on national television struggling in a very public way, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. And it just felt uncomfortable.
Don't love it.
I don't love it. But, I guess the other side of it is the kids from South Carolina, they're going to have great memories on YouTube forever.
That's right.
And they'll, so there's two sides to every one of these.
Yeah, man.
But I didn't like that side of it. It just felt a little icky. We'll move on.
Number 3.
You ready for WrestlePalooza? It's coming.
I think the name is stupid.
I don't disagree. It's obviously a playoff of...
WrestlePalooza is...
It's a playoff of Lollapalooza, I would assume.
WrestlePalooza.
Do we know about any other famous paloozas?
I mean, I guess...
How did Palooza become a thing?
I mean, I was going to say it's dorky, but I mean, we're all... we're watching professional wrestling. Like, I guess we're all a little
Is
dorky.
Palooza something on its own?
Palooza, like outside of Lollapalooza?
Okay, yeah. Palooza is a word indicating a large, extravagant, or exceptionally lively event. So Palooza is something that you would attach to a word to make it sound bigger and livelier. So yesterday, as we were out at the University of Memphis football facility, perhaps that should have been branded Memphis Football Palooza. Grind City Media Palooza at Memphis football practice.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue, but yeah.
You could do it. Try it.
What was it? Grind City Media Palooza
at Memphis football practice.
I can't even talk. No, but it's fun. I mean, it's pretty cool that they're doing this. I'm surprised they're doing it so early. Like, they're jumping right into this thing, man.
So initially, when we heard WWE has reached a deal with ESPN, it was supposed to start in 2026. What we now know, based off the reporting yesterday, is coming earlier. September 20th. This will be ESPN's first WWE premium live event, and it's scheduled intentionally to go against some big AEW pay-per-view or AEW event. I think it might be on Amazon Prime, but they're counter-programming AEW.
Gotcha.
They do this all the time, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
And I don't watch AEW. I feel like I'm putting my family through too much already trying to watch wrestling. So I don't even know I can't name you one person in AEW unless it's somebody who used to be in WWE. I don't know. They could be having the best wrestling matches in the history of wrestling over there, and I just don't know, because I just decided at some point I'm doing enough.
Yeah.
I cannot ask my family. I can't ask my family to sit with me while I watch an entirely different brand of wrestling. At some point, I got to act my age, At some point, I have to act my age.
Yeah, for sure.
But WWE just keeps trying to bury them. They just wait for AEW to schedule something, and AEW is like, we're doing our biggest event ever on September 20th. And then the WWE comes in and says, we're going to bring John Cena to Indianapolis on September 20th.
I'm guessing this coincides. Today was the official launch date of the new direct-to-consumer service that ESPN's
sure that was all coordinated. I'm sure it was all planned on some level.
I need to dive in tonight to make sure that I'm because some people are like, oh, you're good. If you're like a cable subscriber, you're good. You get all this stuff. But then I've heard some people say, no, not really. It depends on who you're subscribed to.
Okay. I've heard that too. I don't have clarity. I also not worried about it, because this is the type of thing that I'll just resolve one way or another. Like, I'm not going to not have access to WWE premium live events because of some change. Like, whatever I need to do, I'll do it. Right? And do you think wrestling fans are more conditioned to be like that than a different genre of fans? Like, are there wrestling fans who will really say, enough's enough, I'm not following you? Right, they're going to follow.
Yes,
right.
They're going to follow.
I think because wrestling fans for decades, were conditioned to pay $50 for these things.
Right.
Every time.
Yep, on pay-per-view, yep.
So, broadly speaking, it's still better than the way it used to be. Mm-hmm. Even if it might not be better than the way it used to be last week. It's better than it used to be last decade, even if it's not better than it used to be last week. But I think wrestling fans will just follow.
Yeah.
They'll do what they have to do. Like, nobody who wants to watch this is not going to let this new media partner stand in the way of it. I don't think. I'd be surprised. So it'll all get straightened out. Other interesting headline connected to WWE. They brought back that Saturday night's main event.
That was on Peacock, yeah.
It's been
on NBC, yeah.
They're moving it strictly to Peacock.
Because I think they still wanted to stay. Because I guess because the WWE network, I believe, is still on Peacock, like where you can watch all the old matches and stuff like that. It is. And so I'm guessing
there's some thought that's moving.
Okay.
I've seen Netflix. I've also seen Disney Plus, ESPN. As always, we'll see.
Because you want to be in good. Because you got SmackDown on USA, which is an NBC Universal property like Peacock. So you want to. I guess they want to. Still give them something.
Yeah.
Right.
It's. Who knows? But I thought it was interesting that they are taking it off of NBC. It clearly indicates a change of plans. Initially, it was like, we're bringing WWE back to network television in prime time on Saturday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they've decided, for one reason or another, it's not worth doing. Perhaps because it's not performing as well as they would like. Perhaps because...
And you're about to get into college football season.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's it. If you could put a Notre Dame game on a Saturday night in prime time, you're going to do that.
Yes.
Every time, as opposed to Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Also, like,
why do you always say Drew McIntyre? I love Drew McIntyre.
I don't know why.
I think he's great.
Why do I always use his name?
Yeah. Whenever you're talking bad about WWE, you always throw in Drew McIntyre. I think he's great. But performed in one of the greatest matches I ever saw in person.
Okay.
Him and Kevin Owens here at SmackDown. They kicked off the show. It was amazing.
Is this when they were slapping each other all the time?
Dude, they went through tables. They were jumping off the top row. It was a hell of a match.
I apologize to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I shouldn't use him as my example all the time of boring WWE. I'm constantly going to Drew McIntyre to prove a point. He's like our UTSA of WWE. Every time we want to make a bad point about the American, we just bring up UT San Antonio.
Yes,
we're just like you want to go see the Roadrunners? We're always just using them as the example.
It's because of their basketball gym. I'll never forget. It was like a weeknight game. It was the only thing on, and I mean Memphis internet went wild on socials. It was like they're playing in the Ridgeway High gymnasium.
So yeah, that's our UTSA is our Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that he should be, but he clearly is. When I'm trying to make a point about WWE, in a certain way, for whatever reason, Drew McIntyre comes out of my mouth all the time. But I apologize. I shouldn't. I should mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. You're trying to bring people to Peacock, perhaps. So maybe that's another reason to bring it back to Peacock. You don't have to subscribe to NBC, but if you want to watch a premium live event on Peacock, a Saturday night's main event, you're going to have to subscribe to that. Maybe that helps on some level. I don't know. But I thought it was kind of cool WWE was on network television on Saturday night in prime time. And just from a eyeballs perspective, and that's no longer going to be the case. So a lot of movement going on in WWE. The biggest news being that the Peacock era is close to being over in any sort of way that we've gotten used to, and it's coming to ESPN in some form quicker than we expected. The opening night, September 20th, live from Indianapolis.
Number 4.
Paige Bueckers set a record last night in the WNBA, 44 points. That's her career high. And also a record for a first-year rookie in the WNBA. I didn't realize this, but I heard Jess mention it earlier. Cynthia Cooper scored 44 points as a rookie in the WNBA, but she was 34 years old when she did that. That was the first year the WNBA came along. So Paige Bueckers, an incredible company, and she's doing it. I don't know that this, wraps up Rookie of the Year and all that stuff, but certainly she's the leading candidate to get all of those types of trophies, and she's delivering. She was, the first freshman to ever win National Player of the Year in college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That was not Caitlin Clark. There was a point in time where she was the star. She was the face.
And then she got hurt.
And she got hurt.
Yeah, and a lot of it just, you're out of sight, out of mind, right? You miss all that time.
She got hurt, and Caitlin became a superstar. And I don't want to say we forgot about Paige Bueckers, because at any point in time over a 4-year period, I might not have been able to name 5 women's college basketball players outside of Caitlin Clark, but Paige Bueckers would have been one of them. So it wasn't like we forgot about her, but there was a little out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
And then, Caitlin became a thing, and then Angel Reese became a thing, and then women's college basketball sort of took off, and she didn't have much to do with it in that moment. But then, of course, she wins a national championship at UConn, becomes the number 1 pick, and she's been terrific. Like, she's going to be all WNBA. She was an all-star, a starter in the all-star game. She's doing it. And it's another, recognizable star in that league that exists to a level we really haven't previously had. I know there have been great players in the WNBA forever. Maya Moore, on down the line. I got it. But these women are more famous now than they've ever been because of Caitlin Clark, and Paige Bueckers has joined that club. You could say her name outside of the context of the WNBA, and people know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that hasn't always been the case. Like, Caitlin Clark is more famous than WNBA players have ever been, but so is, you ready? Angel Reese. So is Paige Bueckers. So is A'ja Wilson. Everybody knows A'ja Wilson now. She's a 3-time WNBA MVP. Did you know who she was the first time she won it? Did you?
I did, but yes, I got it.
Did my neighbor?
Probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
Did half the people working in the office down the hall, if I'd have just walked in there 2 weeks before A'ja Wilson won her first MVP and was like, hey, guys know who A'ja Wilson is? How many people would have known? But everybody knows her now. These women are real stars now, and they're performing, and it's incredible for the league. Let me ask you this. I thought about this because I mentioned earlier in the week, it feels like every day and 5 more things, at least we've got a WNBA story, or we're picking WNBA games during carryout. We're talking about this league more regularly than we ever had, and I think that's not unique to us. That's happening all over the country. So here we are again, 5 more things. We got Memphis basketball in here. We got the tour championship in here. We got some wrestling stuff in here. That's pretty par for the course. And another WNBA story. No baseball. Have we reached a point? I'm not arguing that the WNBA is bigger than Major League Baseball, although somebody might be prepared to try to make that argument. Here's what I'm asking. Have we reached a point where individual stories in the WNBA resonate more than individual stories in Major League Baseball? This is what I mean. We're talking about Paige Bueckers scored 44 points last night in a game. The day before that, we were talking about something else. The day before that, we were talking about something else. We've been talking about We're not talking about anything that happened in Major League Baseball last night, right now. Nothing. Do you know what? But if you were, and by the way, you send me stories every morning. You didn't send me a Major League Baseball story, and
No.
I'm not blaming you because I didn't put one in here. I'm just saying I've noticed it. If we were even going to talk, if I'd said, "Hey, I need one story from baseball to throw in 5 more things," what would it have been today?
I mean, obviously,
Shohei got hit around a little bit last night.
Yep.
Kyle Schwarber homered again, I guess.
Yes, but the thing is I think this goes with a lot of stuff when you compare it to Major League Baseball. It's it's true with the WNBA as well. Is an individual WNBA game matters a lot more than an individual Major League Baseball game, and so you tend to highlight it more.
That's true, but and I know Justin
just because there's way more Major League Baseball games than WNBA games.
I get that, but. And I know Jess and CJ tend to talk about, standings and box scores and they
kill it with the WNBA.
They sit around
stuff,
and they watch the games and then come in and talk about them. We don't do that. I don't do that. I'm not coming in here talking to you about the WNBA standings almost ever. There are things that happen in that league all the time that feel worth talking about. And it feels like we reached a point where there are more things happening in that league on a daily basis that feel worthy of discussion than possibly things that are happening in Major League Baseball that feel worthy of discussion. And I say this as somebody who is a baseball fan who thinks baseball is awesome. I love it. But I just notice individual stories, we tend to talk about Paige Bueckers and A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and Sabrina and Brianna. We seem to talk about these players more than we talk about Shohei and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and whatever else.
I think one, as we're talking through this, I think like with the WNBA especially, at least what is, you tend to latch on to like your favorite players, right? Like maybe whatever your favorite team is, you tend. What I notice is a lot of people, and this is probably true with the NBA too, is you latch on to your favorite players and people that you want to follow and see what other people have to say about it. In Major League Baseball, your favorite player is just whoever's like the best player on the team that you root for.
I don't know. It's just something I've noticed. It seems like if I'm looking for things to talk about, I am more likely to find something that I think I can talk about in the WNBA than I'm more likely to find it there than I am to find it in Major League Baseball. And I don't know exactly what that says about Major League Baseball or the WNBA, but it's something I noticed.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Paige Bueckers.
Pretty cool.
44 points. And did you see the shooting numbers?
Did not win the game. Kelsey Plum hit a game winner, unfortunately for Paige. And then she said, we need to play some effing defense, like on a hot mic in front of the whole crowd.
Well, she probably got a point there. Yeah, they're 9-27. She was 17 of 21 from the field last night. But she is doing all of this for a terrible team. Do we care? Because if I'm being fair, every time somebody tries to talk about Angel Reese's double-double streaks, you know what somebody else wants to point out? The haters. Yeah, she plays for a bad team. A bunch of empty numbers for a bad team. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's what the haters say. Why are we not saying that about Paige Bueckers? Do you want to say it? You want to be the first one to say it? Say it if you want to.
I mean, she's a rookie.
Say, if you want to say it, this is what you could say. If you're impressed by 44 points, I guess be impressed by 44 points. I'm more focused on the 9-27 record, 4-14 away from home. If you want to say it, you could say that. Do you want to say it?
No. This is going to be just like the Indiana Fever, by the way. They sucked when Caitlin was a rookie. The Dallas will be good next year. They'll go make a bunch of moves this offseason. They'll be good.
Bennett's a WNBA insider now.
Mark my words. Dallas will be good next year.
I'm going to mark your words.
Yeah.
Consider your words marked.
Yes.
Your words have been marked.
Yep.
All right.
Write that down.
I'm going to write it down and mark it.
Number 5.
The Tour Championship is underway at Eastlake down in Atlanta. And Nick Taylor, the Canadian, has an early lead. He's 3 under par through 4 holes. Oh, he's off to a nice start. If you're curious, Scotty Scheffler, world number 1. Roy McIlroy, world number 2. They don't go off till 1 o'clock this afternoon. So I can't tell you what they're doing because they ain't even started doing it yet. But Scotty Scheffler did close this morning, I saw, at plus 130 to win the Tour Championship. And I know that's doesn't mean much to people who don't follow that type of stuff. Just understand that Roy McIlroy has the next best odds, and that's at plus 700. Scotty Scheffler plus 130. Scotty has the shortest odds to win the Tour Championship of any player since Tiger Woods was even money in 2009, which is outrageous, by the way. That's how awesome Tiger Woods was once upon a time. You could quite literally bet Tiger Woods or the field at even money. You want Tiger Woods, or you want everybody not named Tiger Woods to hold the trophy at the end of it? And it was even money to take Tiger Woods.
Crazy.
That's how crazy he was. Scotty's not there, but he's the closest anybody's been to that since that. And closed at plus 130. He was asked again yesterday about comparisons to Tiger Woods. Scotty Scheffler was. And he just said, listen, I just think it's silly. And I'm probably always going to think it's silly. Nobody's Tiger Woods. He doesn't say this, but if you were trying to translate it, interpret it, he more or less says, I know I'm amazing and significantly better than anybody else doing this right now, and significantly better than most, and clearly an all-time great. But I'm chasing second place if I'm chasing anything on the list of GOATs who have ever picked up a golf club. I'm chasing to be on that list just below Tiger Woods. And I know some people still will try to argue Jack Nicklaus because he has more majors than Tiger. Yeah. I don't want to say anybody because there's a lot of people out there and some of them have terrible opinions. But ask most people who are in golf, cover golf, play golf, compete at the PGA Tour level, they will all tell you the greatest person who has ever played golf is Tiger Woods. He might not have as many majors as Jack Nicklaus, but nobody has ever played golf better than Tiger Woods. Didn't do it for as long as Jack did it and others because of injuries and other things, but I can show you a round of golf. It's Tiger Woods, and I can say if you watch this, nobody has ever played golf better than this right here. What you're about to watch, nobody's ever done it better than that. People have done it for longer periods of time than that. People have won bigger tournaments, more of them, than this guy. But nobody's ever done this sport better than that guy. That's Tiger Woods. And Scottie Scheffler seems to hold the opinion of, I'm incredible. This is amazing. I'm not that guy. And I know it. And I wish you guys would understand it because I'm never going to answer this question the way you want me to. Whereas LeBron, would actually put himself in conversations with Michael Jordan. He just will. Mm-hmm. He's acknowledged for a long time, that is what I was chasing. I wanted to try to eclipse him. And here's the greatest golfer in the world, still in very much the prime of his career, at the peak of his accomplishments. And he's like, I'm never going to get there. And that's fine. But I know that. So we can stop those conversations. He's used the word silly. I think it's silly when people try to talk about me and Tiger because I don't think he has a colleague. I don't think he has somebody. He's not even a place that we're chasing. We look at that and we try to get as close to it as we can, but we ain't getting there. Nobody will ever be able to do this the way he did it, or at least I don't believe I'll be the guy who. And that's an incredible thing to say.
Yeah.
When you are as awesome as he is. Imagine you're so good at something, people are trying to tell you might be in the conversation for the greatest to ever do it, and you are already putting a cap on that and saying, no. We're talking about Tiger Woods, bro. It's a different deal.
Mm-hmm.
Scottie Scheffler, 1 o'clock today.
But that.
He'll be playing 18 holes with Roy McIlroy. Tour Championship, it's underway right now. Be back with GP's Carryout.
What is the biggest Summer League accomplishments so far for this Grizzlies team?
Tuomas Isalo filling out his coaching staff. The Ryan Saunders hiring was essential. It was big time. You have a veteran NBA voice there.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Let's check the over-under totals. Alabama, Georgia, and Texas all at 9.5. LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee at 8.5.
I love Ole Miss over the 8.5. I think Ole Miss can win 9.
But Ole Miss, they're gonna, Ole Miss, they're gonna lose to Arkansas week 3.
But they could go 9-3. Like Ole Miss winning 10 games
they always
is always
pull some
like
crap like that.
Ole Miss winning 10 can seem a bit of a stretch, but they can win 9.
They're gonna lose at Kentucky week 2.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Gary Parrish Show presented by OrthoSouth. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Well, I could hit you with some breaking news from downtown Memphis. Aaron Fleming's got the byline, dailymemphian.com. Headline, accused mastermind of young Dolph killing found not guilty.
Wow.
You followed this at all?
I saw it. I saw it like last night on the news.
Hernandez.
I didn't realize that it was happening this fast.
So the trial's been going on this week. It wasn't expected to last long. One of the shooters testified against him. And the allegation was this is the guy who orchestrated the killing of young Dolph, who hired the men, set them up, told them that there was a hit on Dolph's head and where it was coming from and all of that stuff. And, I wasn't in the courtroom every day, but I guess I was surprised this morning when I saw not guilty. I didn't expect the not guilty. So I'm reading the story. The judge was like, you're free to go. He's like, thanks, Judge. I'm out. Peace out.
Dang.
I don't know what it means. Other than it's a big headline.
I would assume that it's harder to convict. I mean, he didn't pull the trigger,
He
so
did
it's
not pull the
probably
trigger.
harder to convict somebody for something like that. Yeah.
I guess so.
Because the two guys that did are in jail.
Yeah. I mean, they're on camera.
Right. Yeah. They're on camera.
Gonna be hard to get away with that one.
Yeah.
But the alleged mastermind of the whole thing was found not guilty by a jury of his peers this morning in downtown Memphis. So that's your big headline of the
Interesting.
day. Interesting for sure.
What's today's biggest game?
Can I interest you in some NFL preseason?
You sure can. Let me get it pulled up here.
What do you find more interesting tonight?
I don't like picking these games, but I will.
Okay, I know you will. As an NFL expert, what's the more compelling matchup tonight? Steelers-Panthers or Patriots-Giants?
I think it's probably Patriots-Giants, just because now you're kind of getting the Jackson Dart rumblings out of New York. What is he going to look like again tonight?
They love him.
Yeah, they love him. I would assume Drake May's probably going to play for the Patriots tonight, so you probably get some young quarterbacks in there. Steelers is just, is Aaron Rodgers good anymore, right? That's what their season's going to come down to.
All right, better.
Yeah.
Patriots-Giants it is.
I think Patriots-Giants, yeah.
7 o'clock, Prime Video, live from MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Giants minus 6.5, totals 37.5. How you going to act? You lost last night.
I did.
Cubs beat the Brewers.
I did. Man, preseason's tough, Giants. I'm going to go Patriots.
Plus the points.
Yeah.
You don't believe in Jackson Dart. You're a Jackson Dart skeptic, I gather. Interesting.
Mike Bray, I think with the preseason you got to go coaching.
Do you?
You got to go coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're giving me Vrabel versus Dayball, I'm going to take my guy Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Patriots.
That's the logic.
Patriots plus the 6.5. Bennett's riding with New England tonight. He's a Jackson Dart skeptic.
What are we watching on TV?
Episode 3, season 27, South Park has dropped.
Okay.
On Paramount Plus. It was on Comedy Central last night. I tried to watch it. You know what happened?
Fell asleep.
By the time I try to settle in and watch stuff, put my head on a pillow, I don't think I got much left in me.
I watched the Cowboys thing again. It's pretty good.
Where are you?
Episode 2.
Yeah. I was going to get to that last night. I had a whole plan.
I wish this was more of like a, 4-parter. 8 is a lot to commit to for anything.
You know what I love? Tell you the truth. A 3-parter.
Yeah.
I love a 3-parter.
It's just 8 is so daunting.
It's just like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really struggle with this in like a variety of ways. If you tell me to do one thing, I will do it immediately. If you tell me there are 8 things I need to do, I get overwhelmed and I can't even start on it. What do you think that means?
I don't know.
I struggle with this. If if I had one email to return today, I would just return it, no problem. But if I have 8 to return, I go, oh, I just can't do that.
Yeah,
and then I don't even get started. I won't return the.
Makes sense.
If I have 1, I'll return 1. But if I have 8, I won't even return 1 because I just see 8, and I'm like, all right, I can't do this.
Huh.
If you hand me paperwork, like at the doctor's office, you hand me 1 sheet, I'm like, cool. If you hand me 10 sheets, I go,
Not so much.
I shut down. I don't know how to handle it. Any task like that, if you tell me to write a column, if you say, GP, we need a Jizzle James just got dismissed from Cincinnati. We need a column. No problem. I can knock that out. Hey, GP, we need a list of 10 things. If you're going to write a column, make it 1,000 words. No problem. Do it. Now we need a list of 10 things, 100 words each. Same amount of words, but it's like you got to do 10 different things. I get overwhelmed. I don't like to look at that.
Yeah, that is overwhelming.
So, to your point, I don't like that this is 8. Because 8 just feels like, man, I ain't got that kind of time.
Right.
But I enjoyed episode 1. So I want to get back to it.
That's pretty good.
But how about this? You ready for this? If it were just 3 episodes, I'd already been done with it.
Right.
But because it's 8, I'm just hesitant to jump in. It's a real dilemma.
Yeah.
I had a plan last night. I was going to settle in, watch South Park, and then pick up on the Cowboys documentary and start watching that until I fell asleep. I don't even know if I made it to the first commercial of South Park. But I think I chuckled at the opening scenes. I think I chuckled a little bit. Either way, right now it's streaming on Paramount Plus, season 27, episode 3. It's available. I'm sure it's funny.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over at CBSSports.com right now, on the homepage, the top 25 what-ifs of the past 25 years in the NBA. What do you think number 1 is?
The top 25 if Derrick Rose stayed healthy.
That is on the list. Sam Quinn did the list, and that's 3rd on the list. What if Derrick Rose never tears his ACL?
What if LeBron never goes to the Heat?
That's number 2 on the list.
Okay.
So you've got number 2 and number 3.
What if? What era? Like what's the threshold here?
Past 25 years.
Past 25 years.
Think of the century.
What if Kevin Durant never went to the Warriors? I don't know.
I'm sure that's on here.
It's got to be on there.
What it would be probably some version of what if Kevin Durant never left Oklahoma City, right? That's on here. But the number 1, what if of the past 25 years, according to Sam Quinn, what if Minnesota drafts Steph Curry?
Oh, yeah, because they drafted Rubio and Johnny Flynn, yeah.
They took Ricky Rubio.
I think that's a pretty good one.
And Johnny Flynn.
It's so funny how we take no flack for that draft. You know what I mean? Because of how bad they made a mistake. Yeah. It's like the Grizzlies take no flack for drafting to beat over all those good players.
That is that Minnesota took 2 guards not named Steph.
Right. They needed a point guard, and they took 2 that weren't Steph Curry.
And that the Warriors took him right before the Knicks were picking. Those are the 2 main things that people remember about that. But like the Grizzlies took Hashim Thabit.
Over everybody. You're right. Over every good player. Could add Curry, James Harden. Yeah.
Tough deal. The LeBron leaving Cleveland is on here. Derrick Rose not tearing his ACL is on here. Tyrese Halliburton not tearing his Achilles is on here.
I figured that would be on there. Yeah.
I saw last night. I don't know what it's about. I didn't take the time to look at it, but at some point in the past day, Chet Holmgren tweeted like a broken heart, like a series of broken hearts. And I was like, oh no, like what's going on? So I clicked on it just to look at the replies. And like the 3rd reply was somebody saying, if Halliburton never gets hurt, you don't have a title. I love it when people say,
too.
Like Chet Holmgren is indicating that he's heartbroken over something. And somebody was compelled to remind him, if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get hurt, you don't even have a title.
It's just the truth.
Internet's weird and mean sometimes. Anyway, top 25.
Trust me, I know.
Top 25 what ifs of the past 25 years of the NBA. Number 1, what if the Timberwolves have selected Steph Curry? You can read it right now, cbssports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Friday, so we're getting ready for the weekend. It's Food Truck Friday.
Yes.
I haven't even enjoyed a single Food Truck Friday yet.
I know, dude.
What do you think?
Well, last week you went long and you didn't have time. You're going to have to watch your clock tomorrow.
I got to watch my clock.
Yeah.
We're going to get out of here at 10:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, because that's a little early.
We're going to do an open, and then we're just going to call it a day.
That's a little early.
I'm going to come in here. We're going to do an open.
Uh-huh.
We're going to pick a game.
Yeah.
And we're going to call it a day.
Yeah.
And go do Food Truck Friday. I ran too late with us, and then we ran too late with Vernon. I walked down there.
They're gone. They're packing up. It was good last week. I don't know what the options are this week, but it was good last week.
Well, it's always nice to have something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. That's where we're at. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to try to enjoy mine. And then we'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.